Yo, it's your boy AJ out here with Rage. We about to break down this Sixers Nets matchup. Spencer's talking spicy to Kyle Kuzma. Mad drama going on. We're gonna talk about it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. You're now tuning in Nets Kingdom.
Nets Kingdom.
To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it. Niggas just can't take it. Yeah.
So we back. So before we get to the 76ers, man, we gotta talk about the Spence spicy talk that happened. This is I'm gonna play the clip of what Spencer went on. Spencer had an interview today with FanDuel. Shout out to Run It Back. I think that's the show. He kind of cooked Kyle Kuzma, and Kuzma responded in the tweets. But let's listen to what Spencer said today.
And I wanted to respond. You know, my agent told me to stand down, that we had, bigger fish to fry, things to do, get to the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. But, now I'm not in that environment. I'm in the playoffs. He's not. And, to address no, I'm just saying, to address the socialite, right? Like, there's a lot of guys in the NBA that really pour their heart and soul into basketball, are willing to do whatever it takes to win. There are a lot of guys that have different things that drive them and motivate them. I think if we look at, him and the way he approaches life, fame, all that stuff, that we could see that, his priorities tend to vary, right? Like, that's why he dressed the way he does. He, approaches basketball the way he does, the comments he makes. And like I said, with the Draymond quote, insecurity is loud. Like, you know that you're there, shooting shots to try to get a contract. You're probably not even a third star really on a good team, because if you were, the Lakers would have kept you, right? Part of the reason you
Yo, Spencer kind of cooked up. We're not even going to read what Kyle Kuzma said, because this is a Nets channel, so we're not going to read what Kuzma said. But if you want to look what Kuzma said, you go on Twitter and look. But what was your reaction to the Spencer and Kuzma battle, bro?
I was like, first off, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And then two, I was like, dang. It was all kind of random too, but I was like, Spencer cooked up, but then I saw what Kyle Kuzma said, and I was
Kuzma
like,
did kind of go. He went 7 tweets thread. He had that thread in the chamber, like he was ready for the smoke. And I was like, some of the stuff he said was true, but at the same time, it's like, bro, you not in the playoffs. You was mid for a while. You was on the LeBron team, and you can't really talk because you haven't done anything I know you won the ring, but that's Braun. That was because of Braun. So, but that's a whole nother story. We're gonna get into what everybody was waiting for. So we're gonna talk about the 76ers Nets, man. Game 1 Saturday at 1 p.m. I'm so excited for this game, bro. Going into it though, we're gonna talk about matchups. So who do you want? I mean, starting 5 versus starting 5. Who would you want when going out there to guard who? I mean, Mikal, who you want Mikal to guard? Who do you want? Yeah, you go ahead and.
So we'll start with the starting lineups. Obviously, we have Spencer, we got Mikal, we got Cam Johnson, we got Dorian, we got Claxton versus their starting 5: James Harden, Maxey, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, Joel Embiid. First off, I think you put Mikal on James Harden. I think you figure that out. You stop him early. You make sure you figure that out. You go into Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think
you had Spencer to guard Tyrese, because I feel like, I mean, it is what it is with Tyrese.
I feel like you can put Spencer on Tyrese Maxey. I feel like you can do that. Tobias Harris, I think you put Cam Johnson on there. I think that's a given.
Yeah.
Dorian Finney-Smith, you'll probably put on PJ Tucker in the corner. And obviously with switching everything's going to change up a lot.
Yeah.
So we're obviously going to have Dorian on the perimeter a lot.
Yeah.
And, there'll probably be a lot of scenarios where Spencer Dinwiddie gets put in the corner to guard PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
Because obviously nothing's really going on and we're switching everything. And same with Maxey, because at the end of the day, like, there'll be between James Harden and Maxey, there'll be someone just sitting there.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do that with Dinwiddie. But then you transition on to Joel Embiid. Well, I personally think you just got to throw a bunch of different looks at him. You can't. You got to keep doing that so you kind of throw them off. If you go to one look, they have time to figure out what they're gonna do, right? Because like if you have one look, they're just like, oh, let's let Embiid cook the whole game. They can figure that out. If they're like, oh, let's let the role players cook, well then the 76ers can easily hit those guys. And I think you got to throw a bunch of different looks because we're gonna get killed in one of those things. If we just live with either letting Embiid kill us or letting the role players do it, it usually doesn't work. Whatever we do, so you have to just keep throwing a bunch of different looks. And the first time we played them, when we had everyone with our first game, when we had our new roster, we looked very good on defense because we were throwing a bunch of different looks at that team. We were switching everything. Everything looked good. You just have to. Everyone has to be moving, and you can't just let Embiid cook. And you're looking for a big game for Nick Claxton because he'll be everywhere too.
Yeah, and like I said, like does a great job. And when DFS, I still want DFS doubling at times. And like I said, we gotta change up the defensive schemes because it's got to be a whole bunch of variations. Sometimes DFS doubles, sometimes he doesn't. You know, you want to kind of make Joel second guess himself. Sometimes, you know, you'll send the hard double one time, and then one time you let him play one-on-one with Clax.
The only person on that 76ers team that I can live with shooting the ball is PJ Tucker.
Oh yeah.
The one guy I can live with that. That's
I'll leave PJ open because if he's not in the corner, bro, PJ, we gotta look up his stats. What PJ is from outside the corner because when he's not in that corner, he's terrible, bro.
And
like,
he barely
he's just
shoots,
there.
and he barely shoots shoots much at all.
Yeah,
you're not gonna leave Tobias Harris home because he can obviously he'll be iffy sometimes, but he will have his games. Tobias Harris will get his sometimes. It will happen. So I don't want to leave anyone else besides like PJ open, like if we have to.
Oh, so I just remembered something. So when we know the Nets are gonna not gonna be exactly on who and who, we're gonna switch a lot. But who do you want to hunt? Because you know the playoffs are about switch hunting. We gotta focus. Who you want to bring out to that perimeter and cook? Like, should Jacques Vaughn make an emphasis on if you're gonna run plays from McHale, and if Philadelphia is switching, it's either Philadelphia's gonna be switching or they're gonna be in a drop.
Hunt James Harden. Hunt him. Hunt James Harden.
Yeah.
You can, and the thing is, you can figure out Maxey as well, but Harden first. Because if you burn him out, you can burn him out. You can burn him out when we're on defense too.
Yeah.
McHale will put Harden in hell.
Yeah.
McHale will put Harden in hell, and you can figure that out. It's really just Embiid and their role players. With Harden, I feel like we can do a pretty good job against him. But what Harden will do well is probably like he'll have some threes, he'll have some lobs. But other than that, like I'm 100% sure we can stop Harden defensively. But I think you have to hunt him because we know what his defense is like, and if you get him tired.
Oh yeah, he don't like to. Like I said, he don't like to chase. Success. We got to put them in a lot of actions where they got to chase around screens because it's like we have so much shooters. And Jacques Vaughn got to open up the playbook, or Coach Igor, whoever it is, open up the playbook. These plays that we run, we're going to talk about the bench too next. These plays that we run to get guys open, you'll see like 2 pin down screens, somebody coming off, CJ coming off 2 screens, running around screens. Harden, whoever's Harden's guarding, or he's not going to chase. He's not going to chase those guys around.
That's why you hunt Harden instead of Maxey first, because Maxey is someone who would chase. He's young.
PJ is going to chase.
He will be everywhere. Yeah. James Harden, on the other hand, he's someone you can figure out. James Harden, you can do that.
Yeah, and then before we get to the bench, offensively, man, I mean, I guess you're more. You told me before you're more worried about offense than you are defense with the Nets because I think the defense we can lock in. Offense is like Spencer gotta be the pure point guard. How do you envision this offense that's gonna beat the Sixers in Game 1? Like, how do you envision that, bro?
So you gotta first, obviously, you're gonna want Dinwiddie being in point guard mode. We're not gonna. I have faith. I know Spencer can do it. We can't really go for foul hunting. We gotta just play with our heads down. Yeah. You gotta be able to. We've talked about this before when we played the 76ers last time, and we kind of went into what they do. Yeah. You gotta hunt them out. You can if you can hit threes, you will win the game. Yeah. We have mentioned that they're okay. They're solid defensively, but they're not great at closing out. Yeah. If you can get that and you're making your threes, that's a recipe for success. Because overall, Embiid will get his on that side of the ball. Yeah. We will get ours too. Like that will be one guy. This is the team that is set up to stop that team. We
Yeah.
saw it in the first game with this whole team together. The first game, we
Yeah.
saw what this team was possible of and how they were able to lock in defensively. But we saw how bad the offense was, and we've had a lot of instances where that happened.
Yeah.
You gotta have Spencer Dinwiddie in point guard mode. You have to have maybe try and bring Embiid up to the perimeter.
Yeah, I want to see a lot of threes too. We got to shoot a lot of because, like, I know Jacques Vaughn says
those shots,
23s a half. We
get
got
the
to.
threes.
I want to see the
up,
threes
but
actually
don't
go up
settle.
this year. I remember during the season I would kind of complain that we shoot a lot of threes, but now I'm like, hey, we're in the playoffs. We need this is our only because this is a talented team. This is a team that if you go into the paint, your shot's getting blocked by Joel Embiid if you go into the paint. So it's like. We should get them some threes.
Yep,
bro.
and just get those threes, and just don't force them if you don't have to though. Like obviously, like we can get to the mid range with Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. We can do that.
Yeah,
we can do that. Dinwiddie can get to his mid range.
Yeah, I agree. So going into the bench, man, I know people are gonna like talk about Seth Curry, and there was a whole bunch of drama in Nets world about Seth Curry. Oh, get Seth Curry off the team, this and that. We know Seth Curry's gonna be a free agent. I think he's gonna be a free agent in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
So, but Seth Curry versus when he sees his father-in-law, bro, something just snaps in Seth Curry's head. Like, nah, I'm cooking. So talk about Seth Curry's stats, man. What are Seth Curry's stats first?
This year he's played 2 games against Philly, but in the 2 games he's averaged 23 points. He averages 3 assists.
Yeah.
He shoots 56.3% from 3.
Woo.
And in 29 and a half minutes.
Oh my God.
So
Seth,
it's someone I really think that can do well. And because he like you say, every time he sees the 76ers, something snaps.
Yeah.
He sees his father-in-law, something snaps. even last year too, because when we played them after he got traded to us, he was on something else too. He was going crazy in that game too.
And bro, every time like it's Seth, like when we got Seth, right, we knew he was gonna be effective, but his like playoff something about him in the playoffs, bro. He just has this calmness about him, and this you just can trust him, you know, because
he's someone that's been there before.
When we had KD and Kyrie,
he looks like a seasoned veteran who knows what he's doing. We saw when we played the Celtics last year.
Yeah.
Seth Curry was one of our best scorers. Like he was probably our most reliable scorer in that series.
Yeah, KD was getting
Kevin Durant
doubles,
and Kyrie Irving were MIA.
Yeah.
Besides Kyrie in game 1.
Yeah. And who was there? Seth. Seth was there going crazy in that Boston series. And then you think about the Philly game where we blew them out when we went to Philly. I think that was the first game in Philly. I know Ben didn't play.
Yeah.
All the hype. Everybody was like, oh, this is going to be the biggest game of the year. And that's going to be a close game. And we just cooked Philly. This is when we had KD and Kyrie, obviously. But when Seth got in the game, he was hitting threes, looking at the bench, looking at Doc Rivers, turning around, cooking in that game too. So it's like, hopefully, I'm not going to lie, I do want to see Seth get into this rotation. So I do hope, like I said, Royce is going to be there. Joe Harris is going to be there. I want Seth in the rotation.
Day'Ron Sharp.
How you feel about Day'Ron this series, bro? Because I seen somebody on Twitter say Day'Ron's an X factor.
Yeah, Day'Ron is, and the thing is, when you go into the 76ers depth as well, they bring Paul Reed off the bench for their big. You're gonna have to, in order to cancel him out, because we know I've seen Paul Reed. He can eat up on the glass.
Yeah.
We need Day'Ron Sharp to cancel him out.
Yeah, it's either gonna be Paul or Montrez. I think.
Harold too.
Yeah, Montrez. Either Paul or Montrez, but I think Doc might rather go with Montrez at center. I mean, he's smaller, but hey.
Yeah, and then like Montrez. Yeah. In order to stop him, like we can get Day'Ron getting boards.
Yeah.
And we can get some from him, like offensively, just get some layups or whatever. But defensively, we need the rebounding. We need all the rebounding we can get. Obviously, we're gonna need bodies to throw at Embiid. Yeah. But mostly we're gonna need him coming off the bench, because other than Nick Claxton, we don't have anyone besides Day'Ron.
Yeah.
Day'Ron has something to prove this series, and I have faith in him. He's done really well after this All-Star break, and he's someone that I think can do well against Montrezl Harrell. Although obviously Montrezl Harrell is solid offensively.
Yeah.
I think Day'Ron.
He has the body, he has the frame to match up with Montrez. And he has like the energy. Like going in college, when we first drafted Day'Ron, his college coach was a famous North Carolina Roy. He told him he's one of the best rebounders he's ever recruited. in North Carolina, you go back in their history, bro. Their players in North Carolina, bro, legends in the game. Just to say that about Day'Ron, he's one of the best rebounders he's ever recruited in North Carolina history. That's a big statement. So, and we've seen Day'Ron's gift of rebounding. He's a great rebounder at times, like when he's locked in. So it's like he's got to channel that, and when he gets into the game on Saturday, bro.
Yeah, and he's someone who can do it. We need him a lot because, like I said, other than Day'Ron Sharpe coming off the bench, you don't have another center, and that's not good for Joel Embiid and Montrezl Harrell and Paul Reed. It isn't.
Yeah. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you check us out on netskingdom.net. The website is really good. We're going to have articles going up on there. A lot more content for you guys. Put in the comments what you guys think about the matchups. Who do you want guarding who? And also about a little bit about the Spencer Spice. Put that in the comments also. Appreciate you guys so much. It's Nets Kingdom. Appreciate you guys.